Hey, good morning to you. It's Friday. It's the 26th. Well, it's close to the end of August. Hey, good morning to you. Listen to Eyes on Smash Bros. Radio, the award winning Smash Bros. Radio, the only digital radio station located in Jefferson County, Birmingham. We try not to mention too much about Alabama, but it is what it is. We still love our state. Yes, Smash Bros. Radio, the only digital radio station in Jefferson County, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama, that is. Hey, please, if you have not done so, please download our app so that way you can take us anywhere you want to. Also, you can find Smash Bros. Radio on Instagram, on YouTube, and of course on Facebook, Smash Bros. Radio. Now listen, our primary purpose is to promote the community, to promote independent artists. So, if you're an independent artist and you wish to have a stage, an avenue, a venue, whatever, we're here for you. That's what we're here for. We're here to promote you. And also, since we're a digital radio station, and if you have a Facebook page, you can hear us anywhere all over the world. That's right. We everywhere. So you don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. So, hey, give us a try. Give us a try. We have an abundance of activities coming up tomorrow on the 27th. First and foremost, we have the 2022 auditions of the Brown Sugar Nutcracker. That is the OZZz Smith Dance Studio. And that's August 27th, this Saturday. You can find more information on www.brownsugarnutcracker.com. Hours are from 11 to 3:45. Ages 5 to 7 is 11 to 12. Ages 8 to 10 is 11:30 to 12:30. Ages 11 to 13, 1 to 2:30. Ages 14 to 16, 1 to 2:30. And then 17 and up, 2:45 to 3:45. Listen, if you have not participated in coming and supporting the Brown Sugar Nutcracker, let me tell you, it is fantastic. And I will be prejudiced because I love Ursula. Ursula Smith is a choreographer and also the owner. She is fantastic. So also she has other classes too. So if you have an interest of getting your sons or your daughters, your nieces, your nephews, your grandbabies and all, check Ursula out, please. She's fantastic. But again, auditions are this Saturday, and the times run from 11 to 3:45. You can contact her at www.brownsugarnutcracker.com, or you can go on Facebook. It's Ursula Smith Dance Studio, 5365 First Avenue, North Birmingham, Alabama, 35212. Also, this will give you a chance too. Also, turn this around so I can see it. Also, December the 17th and 18th are the productions of the Brown Sugar Nutcracker. Also, you can go to www.brownsugarnutcracker.com to find out more information. So there are dates December 17th and 18th. So please, if you can visit or participate, go by one of the dates, 17th or 18th. You will not be disappointed. Let me tell you, you will not be disappointed. Also, Back to the House, Reconnecting Alpha's Cookout, August 27th, 4 p.m. until open to the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated and their guest, 2210 First Avenue North, 35203. Once again, it's Back to the House, Reconnecting Alphas Cookout, August 27th, 4 p.m. until open to the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated and their guest. Also, Weigh It Up Promotions presents No Limit Mr. Whoop Fiend, Saturday, August 27th at 9 p.m. over at the Plush Bar and Grill. Come out and support him, as well as Birmingham owned, Bessemer owned Joe Bars. Joe Bars. Please come out and the tickets are on sale. Come out and support them at 9 p.m. Tickets available performing at the Plush Bar Grill Fiend as well as Joe Bars. So come out, come out, come out, come out. Also, the alumni chapter of Alabama State University has a road trip going to the game ASU versus the Howard Bisons. And we already know, we already know who's going to get the ass whipped. The Bisons are going to get the ass whipped. But anyway, if you have not done so, the alumni chapter is having a road trip to the game. To the game. To the game. Can't get any better than the game. Where is you? Also, on Saturday, Smash Bros. Radio presents Smash House Show. Show is at 7:30 p.m. It's Star Baby versus Bailey Brooke. Hey, listen, if you have not ever viewed the Smash House, you need to come on. Come on, you need to come on Smash Bros. Radio Facebook page, and you need to witness the greatness of the Smash House Show. And that's at 7:30 on Saturday. Virtual showcase, Star Baby versus Bailey Brooke. So please, 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 please. And again, if you have not done, please go like and share Smash Bros. Radio. Again, we are on Instagram. We are on YouTube as well as Facebook. Also, I am OZZz. You can find me. You practically can find me everywhere. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Also, I have 2 pages, OZZz. Please don't forget about the 3 Z's. And also, you can contact me at these AMs with Hume. So, it is what it is. So, we have survived the World Games. And so now we have to reflect on what was accomplished and what was not accomplished. So let me do a backup story first. So then that will give you on the mindset. So we know that there was a deficit for whatever reason, which we will discuss. And the CEO Sellers had to go before the council, which he never did present initially. And so he went before it begging for $5 million. So that's where we are. But one thing I want you to keep in mind, Birmingham is one of the poorest cities in the United States. Now, this was done in 2017. So Birmingham is one of the poorest cities in the U.S. About 29% of the city's population lives in poverty, roughly double the 15% U.S. poverty rate. The typical household in Alabama's largest city earns just $32,378 a year, and that is more than $23,000 below the national median household income. Now understand that. Supposedly, and plus 2, you have to keep in mind who is doing this report, and that's the same way when it comes to statistics. You have to pay attention. Who is this report being researched by, being completed by, and all that? Because you can manipulate the statistics to prove whatever you want to, and anybody who's gone to school will understand that. Not necessarily can you believe everything you read. And for me to go backwards, especially with the election that came up, a Republican was supposed to win. The posters came out and said that he was going to win, but thank God he lost to a Democrat. So that should give you a mind. You can't believe everything you see. You can't believe everything you hear. So just because it's this states that Birmingham is the one lives in poverty, you have to take that with a grain of salt. But keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Also, the following questions should be kept in mind too when we go through critiquing the pros and cons of hosting the World Games. 1, who was paid first? 2, how much were the staff, executives, vendors, and etc. paid? 3, which vendors are owed? Why weren't those small vendors paid first? 4, who is owed? Can the city work out those payments directly? 5, World Games should submit adequate accounting of all expenditures. 6, what sponsors backed out? And the last one, how much was top brass paid? Did they get all the money? Did they take a pay cut when they knew the money wasn't flowing in? Did they cut anything back? And are they paid to make those decisions? Now, see, those are relevant. Those are relevant questions when it comes to what Birmingham has experienced with the World Games. So let me cover them one more time, and I will go slowly. Who was paid first? How much were the staff, executives, vendors, etc. paid? Which vendors are owed? Why weren't those small vendors paid first? Who is owed? Can the city work out those payments directly? World Games should submit adequate accounting of all expenditures. What sponsors backed out? Why did they back out? What was the reason? What was the reason for them backing out? How much was top brass paid? Did they get all the money? Did they take a pay cut when they knew the money wasn't flowing in? And did they cut anything back? See, because, oh boy, it behooves me. Mm, mm, mm. You had this individual, Nick Sellers, who is a CEO of the Birmingham Organizing Committee, which is also known as BOC. So get that right. So when I say Sellers, I'm talking about the CEO, Nick Sellers, who is over the Birmingham Organizing Committee, also known as BOC. BOC. So with all of that in mind, initially, from what I gather now, there were some vendors that were paid after completing or after the closing of the World Games. So the question comes up: why were certain individuals paid and others weren't? Did certain individuals fall under one organization, under one umbrella, and then other vendors fell under another umbrella? Why didn't Sellers initially go to the city council, who is the governing body, to present the information? Were all venues, when I say venues, were every area researched, especially when it came to traveling, when it came to bookings, when it encompasses the entire World Games? Now, keep in mind, Sellers mentioned in a typical white fashion that, well, it should be known that most cities that hosted the World Games and also the Olympics didn't fare too well. We're not talking about the other damn city. We're talking about Birmingham. And if by chance, if you knew this, then did you put that in the equation? Because if it is common sense, if it is known that there is a possibility that you are not going to generate the revenue in which you bought into hosting, was that part of the equation? Now, we knew that COVID was still around. We know that COVID is around. Sellers mentioned that the international travel may be light. Now, did you take that in consideration? Did you cut anything back? Did you cut your pay back? And why did you not go to the city council initially with possible issues and concerns? Why did you all of a sudden go now when your ass needs additional money? I'm going to tell you why, because you're being typically white. Because, see, white folks do that. White folks do that. We don't say shit initially because we're hoping that everything will go fine and we don't have to do it. So we go in high hopes, delusional. But then when we find out our asses are in trouble and we need additional help or additional assistance or more money or whatever, but then we're going to, well, I know that I was supposed to, and I want to apologize to the city council. No, mother. No, 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 no. With you being the CEO, you should know the protocol. You knew that your ass was supposed to go to city council initially with your concerns, with your issues, with what the possibility might be. But because your ass got into trouble, because your ass got found, now you have to be humble, this fake ass humbleness that white folks do, and say that you apologize sincerely, of course, from the heart, and you're asking for assistance. Now, if you knew that you were supposed to go to initially, why didn't you ask go initially? We knew you were being typically white. And if Randy Randall knew about the issues and all, why did he take his little ass to city council to inform them? Because he's part of the equation too. Now, the World Games did prep Birmingham for future events. And considering the deficit, considering what the deficit could have been, Birmingham did pretty good. Because, see, Birmingham already have the venues for the games. I still don't understand how in the hell the Plantation Hoover was even invented or even invited to be part of the equation, because I don't think Hoover should have anything to do with that. I don't think I have a very bad taste, and I venomously object, and I venomously do not appreciate Hoover being part of the equation. And who had the audacity to allow Hoover to even give or to be part of the venue? They had no business being part of the venue. Them white folks can't stand us much more than most of us can't stand them. Now, you're going to have some individuals who are going to be bougie and whatever and take their black asses over to the white asses and shop, knowing very well that I have preached multiple times, that when you shop over in Hoover, the Plantation, you're basically, you are agreeing with their racist agenda. That's what you're doing. Because when you shop over in Hoover, your tax dollars is going to the maintenance, is going to the revenue to maintain that racist city. So the next go around, and I'm hoping that there will be a next time in which Birmingham can showcase itself in a most positive way. Hoover's not even connected. And I would wager that any revenue that was generated from having, I think it was the softball over in Hoover, I would bet that some of the proceeds were not shared with Birmingham. So again, I wonder who had the audacity, and did that individual meet with their city council? Because, see, in the bigger picture, I would wager Sellers has no respect for the Birmingham City Council. Because if he had the respect, then his ass would have met with them initially to give them the issues, the concerns of hosting the games. Now, it's only right, after sitting back and thinking, we were in a predicament. So see, he was acting like a teenager. Because those of you who have teenagers, you know how your teenagers are. They wait to the last minute in hopes that because it's the last minute and they have your back against the wall, you're going to agree with it. But then you're going to say, "Don't ever do this again," and they're going to do it again. So that's sellers. And also, did Randy was he giving any type of salary? Did he receive any benefits, financial benefits? And was there a report given, a financial report given to the city council to explain the the expenditures? I think a forensic audit should be done on the books. And then on top of that, I think that every that's the only way to go. A forensic audit should be performed independently on all the books, because the question comes up: what happened to the money that was supposed to go to the homeless shelters? What happened to that money? Smitherman should be able to answer what happened to that money. Crystal Smitherman, where's the money, baby? So, in the bigger picture, Birmingham hopefully has learned what it can, what it can't, what it needs, what it should adjust, what it should modify. But one thing that saved us was that we had the venues that could accompany the games. So, was it negligent? Was it incompetence? It was negligent. It was negligent on Sellers' part for him not to include the governing body. It was negligence in him or Randy not going to the Jefferson County Commission, to the sheriff, asking for additional support because they owe the sheriff's department, because they did not even include the sheriff in the decision because he had already performed his budget. So the sheriffs are needed to be paid. And were the policemen during the ones that did the World Games, were they paid adequately? Which comes into play another. There was some money that was given that some departments received their entire money and others didn't. So Randy, why are you pick and choosing certain individuals or certain departments to be paid the full amount? You're not paying the entire amount, because there's one department or one group that you still owe $5,000 to, because there's certain departments that were not taxed of the $10,000. And then there was another group that was taxed for the $5,000 that should have received the $10,000. So you owe them $5,000, Randy. And you should be transparent in giving up the records of what you did with the money. Because if I remember correctly, I think Birmingham received $143 million because of COVID. What happened to the money? So, though the report in 2016, 2017 claimed that Birmingham is the poorest, there's a possibility that it's true, because we have leaders that are not being progressive as what they ran on, and they're kissing the white man's ass. They're licking the white man's ass. They have their heads up the white man's ass, trying to be a celebrity and not trying to be a leader, an administrator. And I'm talking about Ray. I'm talking about Randall Woodfin, the mayor of Birmingham. I'm tired of those who do not reside in Birmingham, who do not have an interest in Birmingham, who have not invested in Birmingham, having a say on what Birmingham does. That is not proper. That is not correct. Because if we were to take our asses over the mountain to tell the white folks what to do, they would be in a nut roar. So why should we even allow them individuals to come over here to tell us what we can and can't do, to dictate to us what we can and can't do? So during the World Games and all, at the close of the World Games, were the executives paid? Did they receive their full compensation? Were sellers paid? Was a cut performed in what was supposed to be compensated because of what was not fulfilled? I would wager that he received his entire compensation. I would bet that those executives received their compensation. But yet they weren't cut because of the expectations not being met. And I would hope, and let me back up, and I shout out to the two counselors that had integrity to vote no. I appreciate y'all tremendously. You showed a lot of integrity in standing up for the bullshit. But understand, sellers ain't learned shit. And I would hope that he would never, ever be able to have any say over another huge event. Because if you knew that the hotels were not being booked, that should be a deciding factor. If you knew that the advertisement wasn't being sent out adequately, efficiently, effectively, that was something else. And again, I mentioned the Robert Trent Jones golf courses that is the Retirement Systems of Alabama owes. Now, initially, again, as I stated before, when the Retirement Systems of Alabama proposed having these golf courses, all these white politicians, all these white men were saying, "Oh, it never worked because we have too many golf courses as it is." But because of not listening to them, because of not listening to them idiots, and because of advertising worldwide, effectively, efficiently, Robert Jones Trent golf courses are a huge success, not only to the Retirement Systems of Alabama, but to the state of Alabama, because it's generating revenue that's coming in. Same thing when it came to when the Retirement Systems of Alabama were buying the buildings in New York. There was a lot of naysayers, but yet the buildings that are owned by the Retirement Systems of Alabama are fully booked. They have tenants that have set up businesses in those buildings. And some of those businesses, some of those corporations have more than one floor. So they're occupying 2 to 3 floors of a building that is owned by the Retirement Systems of Alabama. And let me digress for a moment. Also, let me put it out there. The Retirement Systems of Alabama is not supported by the taxpayers of Alabama. That is supported by the retirees, the individuals that are invested in the retirement system. So see, the taxpayers do not pay teachers' salaries. Y'all didn't pay for my salary. Y'all not paying for my retirement because amount of money was taken out of my check each month to put into my retirement. So see, that's a myth. Taxpayers do not pay my retirement. I pay for my retirement. So I digress. But if sellers had advertised possibly adequately, efficiently, and effectively, there's a possibility that there would have been more individuals to come because what I understand that there was advertising only in Atlanta, only in Georgia. Why? And if whoever was the advertisement company that did that, you fucked up. You should just go ahead and just give up your whatever because you fucked up. See, you can advertise. When you advertise effectively and efficiently, you generate interest. You generate people wanting to come to visit to find out what you're talking about. So hotels were not booked. First flag. You knew COVID was around and international travel was going to be limited or light, strike 2. You knew that sponsors was dropping out. 3. You knew they were concerned about security. So you knew the issues already. You knew the concerns already. Did you act on what you had found out? Now, I know that you cannot compare Garth Brooks with the World Games, but in a way you can. When Garth Brooks brought his act here, his show here, hotels were booked. Says a lot. Says a lot. So, with those issues should have been brought before the city council, before at the end. And the city council did correctly after I sat back and thought about it, because it would have brought embarrassment to Birmingham if individuals were not paid. But now whatever Jefferson County Commission does, and whatever, there's another organization that is looking through their books to see. Because, see, all of this should have been taken care of a long time ago before. And if the salaries were not reduced or cut, well, then they need to be cut. Where did the money go? Whose pockets did the money go to? How much money did Birmingham receive, if it did receive any? But again, we have to look at the bigger picture. It gave us an example. It gave us the experience on how to handle a large event. And hopefully this will prep us for the future in that we can do it again more effectively and efficiently. We knew about transportation. We knew about housing. And again, I question what happened to the money that was given for the homeless shelters. Where's that money? Where are the supplies? Where are the materials that were paid to build those homeless shelters? Why are certain groups at City Hall being paid as were agreed upon, and others are not? Their hazard pay has been cut. The holiday pay have been cut. And better yet, during the first COVID round, all those benefits that were cut, have they been given back? Have they been given back to the city employees? And why are so many employees, city employees, leaving the city and going to the county to work? There's too many unanswered questions. There's too much shadiness. There's too much bullshit going on. And Mayor Woodfin should be held accountable for all of those. But again, see, we vote for popularity. We don't vote whether or not he has the experience. He's just a fucked up. He's in the white man's pocket. Anything the white man tells him to do, he's going to jump at it. And it's a travesty to have that much intelligence and have no integrity. And again, as I have harped, as I have sounded, as I have proclaimed, as I have shouted out, there is no reason for Birmingham to be in the predicament that it's in. Mayor Langford had 3 plans, 3 endeavors that research were done on. You have the monorail system from Birmingham to Atlanta. Really 2. Then you have the Port of Birmingham. The third one for me was the pool over the Sportsplex. So see, if Randy would get off of his ass and get his head out of the white man's ass and stop licking the white man's ass and start being an effective and an efficient leader that he has the ability to be, he could generate the revenue for not only Jefferson County and Birmingham, but for the entire state of Alabama. It can be done. How bad do you want it? You could have the money, you could have the revenue generated so that way it would take care of Wi-Fi, broadband. It would take care of education. It would take care of social services. It would take care of the mentally ill, the veterans, the elderly, the children. Community centers could be built. With volunteers going in, managing the community centers. You could have lights up and down the highways of Alabama. And then on top of that, the revenue that would be generated from the monorail system, from the Port of Birmingham, would also help Alabama when it came to the education, when it came to retirement. It has nothing to do with what party you belong to. It has to do with what is your interest. Is your interest toward being a good steward to the people of Alabama? And instead of having this gulf, this bridge between, your priority is for the citizens. Your priorities to the veterans. Your priorities to the elderly. Your priorities to the children. And let me digress for a little bit. In the Constitution, there's nothing mentioned about education being the responsibility of the state. So from what the Constitution says, it is not the responsibility of the state to educate its children. So see, that's why I'm on the understanding, that's why I believe that the Constitution should be revamped, should be changed. And a little tidbit history, the Alabama Constitution is larger than the federal Constitution. You could read the federal Constitution in one setting. That's how small it is. You can read it in one day. It's not that hard. And 98% of you probably don't even know what's in the Constitution, but yet you're talking about Constitution. You don't even know the background history of the Constitution. You don't know about the Federalists. You don't know about the Anti-Federalists. You don't know about you don't know about the letters. You don't even know the philosophy of the Founding Fathers. And you would be surprised that the Founding Fathers didn't even believe what you claim they believed. So there are a lot of unanswered questions that need to be answered. But a financial report should be given to the city council, an adequate, up-to-date, transparent of the expenditures. Why were certain vendors paid, some not? And why weren't the vendors paid anyway initially, especially the small vendors? Why weren't they not paid earlier? Sellers didn't need the damn money. The executives didn't need the damn money. Why did some sponsors fall back? But it's taught us how to be more effective. It taught us how to be more effective. And I hope that this will not be the last time in which Birmingham would have the opportunity to shine. Because the next go around, hopefully, hopefully those who be in power, those who have the decision making, will understand exactly before we need these things in place. And it needs to be advertised effectively and efficiently by a professional advertising company. So when you balanced it, it could have been worse, but we were blessed. We were really blessed. And if the county commission does not agree to give any additional funding, if the other entities would then, those who receive their full pay should give half of their pay back, or whatever the equation you wish to use, because you should not have been paid your full allowance, your full compensation, because the expectations were not met, because you did not decrease or reduce. So it all falls back into Sellers' lap, falls back into Randall's lap. But Birmingham did well. Did well. It tickles me that most individuals say that, well, we should tear down the Gray Lady, which is Legion Field. It's funny that every time something comes up, you always using Legion Field, the Gray Lady. So she must have some significance, some relevancy. But yet you want to tear her down because of that damn ticker-tocker joke that the white man from UAB wanted. And if you had fulfilled your obligation with Mayor Langford and given the Dome Stadium that would have housed multiple venues, would even benefit more so Birmingham. But a review should be done on what revenue is generated by that Tinker-Tonker Stadium, and if any of that money is going towards your coffers of Birmingham. I will wager not. Just like BJCC. Whoever is doing the most of the maintenance, that's where the majority of the money should go back to. And there need to be more blacks, more balanced representation on the board when it comes to JCCO, Birmingham Jefferson County Civic Center. Because you have too many greedy-ass white folks on that board that have no interest in Birmingham, never had interest in Birmingham. So you need individuals who are pro-Birmingham, who are going to look after the interest, the invested interest in Birmingham. Because there are a lot of individuals who live over the mountain that have no interest, no invested interest, and no love for Birmingham, but yet you have allowed them individuals to be on boards that have no type of confidence. So in the bigger picture, we learned, we will grow, we will do better the next go around. It should be understood from now on that anything that deals with Birmingham, everything has to go through the governing body. And if the mayor, whoever they may be, should have an understanding that they present the issues to the city council. And if the individuals or entities do not present their report, well, then the city council should deny any requests from those entities. We're not dumb. We just play dumb. We're not dumb. So, what you gonna do, Randy? Ray? Randy? Randall? What you gonna do? You fucking up all the way around, man. Get your head out of the white man's ass. Stop licking his ass. And start being the effective leader that you have in you. Because in white folks being, they have no interest in you. The only reason they show interest is because you're the little guinea pig. You're the little token. You're their puppet. And once they have used you, they're going to throw you away. As I have told you earlier, you have two camps. You have the camp of Arrington and Langford. Then you have the camps of Kincaid and Bell. You have a camp of Dews, Arrington, and Langford, and the camp of don't give a happy goddamn and stupid and idiots, which is Kincaid and Bell. Then there you, in the middle, which can create a legacy only for you. So that way you wouldn't have to belong to any group. You have your own group. You need to look into, you need to research, you need to find out where that project research is done, the accountability, financial report when it comes to the monorail system. You need to check into the Port of Birmingham. Also, you need to check into the cost of bringing state-of-the-art equipment to Sportsflex. Those three projects would generate enough of revenue and would pay for itself if it is marketed effectively and efficiently in 10 years, if not less. You would have world-renowned swimmers and coaches coming to Sportsflex to train year-round. You would have ships and barges and stuff coming into the Port of Birmingham that would generate enough of revenue that would also enhance the Southeast. You have a monorail system that runs from at Birmingham to Atlanta. And then you could expand it from Birmingham to Texas, which means that you would have a monorail system from Atlanta to Birmingham to Texas. And that monorail system will benefit Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. So you're sharing the wealth. Same way, it would benefit those counties west, right there at Alabama-Georgia's border. So it's a do-do. So you have it. So what you going to do? It is what it is. Hey, listen, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all tremendously. Appreciate you allowing me coming in. Know your value. Know your worth. Know that you can do anything you want to do. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. I will see you on Monday. Y'all take care. Peace. Have a good weekend. The live stream on the show. The live stream on the show. The live stream. The live stream on the show.